You want to become a master at drawing, and you want to get there fast. So here are 10 drawing exercises you can do to improve your skills quickly, most of which can be done on paper or digital. Number 1, find a reference image and flip it upside down. When drawing from reference, people tend to rely on what they already understand about the subject, rather than what they see in front of them. When your brain can't really register what the reference is, it can't force its own idea of the thing into your drawing, causing you to rely more on what you actually see and drawing the reference more accurately. Number 2, find 2 references, one for your subject and one for the style. For example, here is a picture of a random person and the style of raw straws. Your goal is to draw the subject and the style. Doing this helps you use your brain and think more about what makes both the subject and style the way they are. When copying one reference, it's easy to mindlessly replicate it, not thinking so much about what makes it it. Number 3 is something I've talked about before, and that is drawing from a reference and then from memory. This is another great way to challenge yourself to think about and remember things about the reference. After drawing from a reference, hide both the reference and your first drawing and try to draw it again. You'll be able to see how much you remember about the image. Number 4, find another reference and redraw it, but try recreating the subject out of simplified 3D shapes. What I believe is one of the most significant differences between a beginner and professional level artist is understanding that what you're drawing, while being on a flat surface, represents something that is 3-dimensional and exists in a fake 3D space. The result of this is more solid drawings that look like they could jump from the page. Number 5 is an exercise in learning what makes interesting lines. Find a drawing you really like and think has good line work. Rather than replicating the whole drawing, copy individual lines. Pay attention to which lines are curvy and which are straight, and think about what types of lines are put side by side. You'll probably find that, especially in organic forms, curved and straight lines are placed next to each other. Number 6 has a similar takeaway, but instead focuses on shapes. Find some drawings you think have good shape design, and try to recreate them, but as one very simple shape. Drawings with good shape design will have a clear, interesting overall shape, and there's a lot you can learn by studying that. For number 7, you can test yourself on what you might have learned from these other exercises, and just draw some random shapes from your imagination. They can be 2D or 3D, and shouldn't represent anything real. This is great to do, especially if you're bored and don't know what else to draw, and I think of it as flexing your shape design muscles. Number 8 is timed drawing. It's easy to get caught up in the little details of a drawing rather than focusing on the big picture, which often results in a lot of time used up and a less than impressive drawing to show for it. When you time yourself, you're forced to focus on what's really important and start with the general idea rather than focus on one little detail at a time. For example, if someone were to draw the human figure, they might get to the hand and try to add in every finger in detail before moving on to the next thing, and in the end, their drawing looks disproportionate and uninteresting. With limited time, however, a wise artist will start with the overall shape and flow of the figure and not worry about the details like individual fingers or the features of the face. As a result, this drawing is much more pleasing to look at, and although simple, captures the reference better. And yes, this is gesture drawing, something I seriously recommend learning. Usually 1 to 2 minutes is a good amount of time for one drawing, and you can challenge yourself by allowing less time than that. It's like a game. For number 9, I suggest drawing with a pen. When you can't erase or undo your mistakes, you become more careful not to make so many. You will learn to be less careless with the marks you make. Your drawings might turn out below your standards, but you'll be learning. And last of all, number 10 is drawing without looking at your drawing surface. You might think of this as something to do only for laughs, but there are some serious benefits to this. When drawing from a reference, you should be constantly looking between the reference and your work, and should be looking at the reference about as much as your work. Beginner artists tend to spend most of their time drawing looking at their drawing, and little time actually looking at the reference. By only looking at your reference, you are basically overcorrecting, and this can build the habit of looking at your reference more. If you're interested in trying any of these, I suggest writing them down in your sketchbook. Hope you found this helpful, and if you want more practice tips, check out this playlist. Thanks for watching!